Yo, what's up, family? Before we start the video, please leave a like, subscribe, and share to any and everyone that you can. Just bring it out there a little bit more. With that being said, let's get right into the video. The New York Knicks just won a thrilling Game 2 in the Garden 104-101 to take a 2-0 series lead over the 76ers. With Jalen Brunson struggling in both games, the Knicks role players have stepped up immensely to secure a couple wins. Today, I want to look in depth at the play of those guys, so let's get into the film. Alright, how y'all doing? I hope y'all doing good. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not, make sure you take your shoes off before you come in the house. And the first person we'll be talking about is Donte DiVincenzo. In this series, the first two games, he's averaging 13 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, and 1.5 steals. And to me, he is one of the most improved players this season in the NBA. He came from the Warriors, averaging about 9.5 points last season. Now he's up to about 15, and he's a real focal point in this Knicks offense. And I like how the Knicks run a lot of like modern triangle offense type stuff. So here you can see the triangle. They're going to try to run some blind pig action with Hartenstein and Jalen Brunson. Blind pig is when the primary guy you're trying to get the ball to is being denied heavily. Oubre's not denying Brunson heavily on this play, but he is at half court. So you pass it to the guy who flashes up, and it's going to be a dribble handoff between the guy who has it and the guy who is being denied the basketball. So here, but what the Knicks like to do a lot of times is reject this and go to a dribble handoff with somebody else. Donte comes off and hits the three. He's going to come around to the other side, gets another dribble handoff, and then it just turns into a screen and roll with him and Isaiah Hartenstein. Hartenstein, who was a really big part of this offense with passing and his screening in the DHO game. Here he flips the screen, stonewalls Lowry, and Donte hits another three. And of course, there have not been a lot of guys that have played for Tom Thibodeau that were not two-way players. Donte DiVincenzo, of course, came out of college. He scored a lot of points in that championship game, and that was probably the attraction that team saw. But he has turned into a really good perimeter defender, and here he sees this action coming a mile away. Tyrese is going to get the ball here, and he is going to recognize that Oubre is coming for this handoff. He jets, blows up this action, and the ball rolls off of Oubre. And Donte is a perfect fit for this Tom Thibodeau New York Knicks team because all of these guys are fearless, right? I know that he can score. I've seen him score in college. I've seen him score in his other stops in the NBA, the tween here. But to me, it's the fearlessness he plays with. He's been playing with it all season. He goes at the opposing team's rim protector. Of course, he's not gonna be effective every time, but just that style of play fits really good, and all of his teammates have it, and it's good for Tom Thibodeau led teams. And Donte is also a guy that is gonna do the little things to make winning plays in playoff basketball settings, especially. So we have Tobias Harris here in transition. Donte also understands that Josh Hart is on this side, and he's gonna work his ass off to get in front of Tobias Harris, or at least not let him split in between them. Because he understands this, he knows that Tobias can only go his way. He gets set, takes the bump, and gets the charge. And this was a really underrated play in this game. Donte DiVincenzo saved the Knicks with this play. Brunson is going against Kyle Lowry. He fumbles the ball. They almost turn it over, but Donte comes off of the corner to save the ball. He gets it, he resets it, and then he drives, sees Brunson in the corner, and he gets assist for the big time three. The next player is Josh Hart, and he has just been incredible in these first two games, averaging 21 points, 14 rebounds, a block, and a steal. He's playing 44 minutes a game. He played the entire game in game 2. He's shooting 53% from 3, and he had 21, 15, 3 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks in game 2. And one thing that has been true about Josh Hart for a lot of these years before he even came to the Knicks is that he is one of the best coast-to-coast finishers in the NBA. Now, it was not as effective as it usually is this game because there was like a couple times where he turned it over or a guy was slapping the ball off him and it was going out of bounds. But this guy is a wrecking ball, and him pushing the pace led to a lot of open opportunities for his teammates, some assists and some hockey assists, and he drives right at Embiid here, takes his 2 steps, goes right up, and he scores. And besides the wide open threes, he's hit some tough shots in this series. He's been really feeling himself these past 2 games, and here he saves the possession with a fadeaway at the end of the clock. Alright, so here the Knicks go to their sideline out of bounds zoom action. Again, the zoom action is when a guy receives a pin down to go get a dribble handoff. So here you see Hart sets the screen on Nicholas Batum. Bogdanovich catches it, goes to the paint, draws about 3 76ers defenders, and makes an incredible pass to Josh Hart. And at the end of the season, teams were allowing Josh Hart to shoot. They were leaving him open, and he was not hitting those shots, and he had to get his confidence up and just keep shooting. And to do that in the playoffs is an amazing thing. And here he gets the pass and he faces up for 3. And this is when you know a guy is feeling himself. Josh Hart, again, I talked about the coast-to-coast ability, getting his own shots at the rim, him passing off to assist, or him getting that hockey assist. But this time, stop and pop, pull up three. Josh Hart was really feeling himself. I don't think I've ever seen him do this, but he gets the 2 for 1, stops for 3, and cans it. And now we're going to get into some of that two-way ability of Josh Hart. If you're a forward or guard that's his size, if you're not a guy like Joel Embiid or Jokic or really strong big man, you're going to have a really tough time successfully backing down Josh Hart because he's a really strong guy. And here he defends by stairs with a little bit of help from Donte DiVincenzo. And again, he didn't get this rebound, but the coast-to-coast ability again. And sometimes, like I said earlier, he's a wrecking ball, and sometimes he just plays football in transition. So he's cradling it like he's a running back. This does two things. This allows him to get in between splits, and it allows him for maximum ball security. You're not going to take the ball from him if he's holding it in his arms with two hands like a football. You're not going to take the ball. That also leads to people reaching and fouling them as they try to get the ball, as Batum did right here. And again, that coast-to-coast ability. Josh Hart is a rebounder and a really good passer. He's had a lot of triple-doubles this season. And here, again, he got that hockey assist. He's seen that DiVincenzo was cutting, a great pass to him, and it leads to him passing to Bogdanovich for a wide open 3. And last but not least, the guy I want to talk about is Isaiah Hartenstein, who is the glue and the connector piece to this Knicks team on both sides of the floor. And now, again, they get into some of that triangle action. You see the triangle there, bang, bang, bang. And this is a perfect example of the blind pick action, right? So they're going to try to get the ball to Brunson here. Oubre does a hell of a job denying this pass, or they pass it to the guy who flashes, and then they're going to do a dribble handoff under the guy who's denying the basketball. So here, a really good two-man game. He passes Brunson, he passes it right back. Hart gets a dunk. All right, he is guarding Joel Embiid. He's not going to have a lot of success, but in that second half, he was really fighting. He got a lot of important stops on Embiid. He had a really big third quarter. Here, he gets the steal on Joel. Hartenstein is really their glue and connecting piece on offense because of his IQ. He's a good passer, and his wide body, he's not afraid to throw his body around and screen for his guys after he passes, and that leads to a Donte DiVincenzo 3 here. And it makes so much sense why the Knicks are one of the best offensive rebounding teams in the league, because they just have a lot of guys who are just relentless and go after every ball, like Josh Hart, Mitchell Robinson, of course, and Isaiah Hartenstein here goes through Embiid, gets the offensive rebound, and puts it back up. And again, if you're guarding Joel Embiid, you're going to have a tough night, but Isaiah Hartenstein is never going to give up on the fight here. Embiid does a spin move. He does a nice job meeting him to the point, makes him spin again. He kind of backs up a little bit. Embiid gets off balance. There's a lot of foul-worthy contact here, but this is the Eastern Conference playoffs. If they don't call it, it's a good play by Isaiah Hartenstein, and he forces a turnover. And something that makes Hartenstein a really unique player is that, of course, he can pass, of course, he can screen, and he's not the traditional floor spacer as far as him either stretching the floor, shooting threes, or even those long twos. But if you get the ball to him in the lane area, he can hit that floater all day, and he does here with some contact. And again, you got Jalen Brunson going all around the world. He sees Isaiah Hartenstein, a drop-off pass. He hits another floater in the lane. And of course, the most important play of the night, you got Josh Hart. All three of our guys are involved in this play. Josh Hart, the relentless effort, trying to get the ball from Tyrese Maxey. He gets it, sees Donte open. The first one is a no-go, but look at Isaiah Hartenstein flying through the air, getting his offensive rebound. None of this is possible without him. He gets it out to OG. He falls. OG sees Donte. He's not going to miss 2 in a row. Bang. And this is also a really pivotal play because after all that, the Knicks were only up 1 point. Tyrese can take the lead with a layup, but Isaiah Hartenstein, again, Tyrese Maxey is one of the fastest players in the league. He keeps up with Tyrese Maxey, recovers, and blocks a shot. And I do want to show some love to Miles McBride. His big game was game 1. He had 21 points with 5 threes. He's their third leading scorer these past 2 games. He didn't have a great game in game 2, but he was still a contributor to the win. But that is the video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like, subscribe, and share to any and everyone that you can. Just bring it out there a little bit more. I will see you guys in the next video, but this is Nick. Peace.